day, TNT. Good day. Good day, Latin America. Good day all over the world. Or good evening, depending on where you is. But serious topic today. Very serious. This has an implication and ramifications for every nation. But we go focus on Latin America and the Caribbean. But by no means is this strictly geared towards them. Like I said, this has worldwide implications. So before, as always, give thanks for another day. It's a blessed day. Good, bad, or indifferent is a blessed day. Because the Lord Father in His wisdom chose to give us another day. He gave we, and He had to give we. So, we'll take a second out with it and give thanks. Make sure and give some thanks. Show some gratitude. Alright. Let we talk, family. Let we talk. Donald Trump and the United States government come out with something called the National Security Strategy. You could get online. You could read the report. It's a report. It's like a thesis. It's not a report. But you could read it. You could go through it and spend any time to read the whole thing. But I go save you. I go summarize it for you. Is less of a security strategy and more of a threat to every nation on earth, but we're focusing on Latin America and the Caribbean. Okay? Focusing on there. Now, what it states is that United States, it's their God-given right. Okay? A right given to them by God, as they say, to assert their dominance over Europe and all Western nations. That is their God-given right. So every nation should fall back in line and understand that they are the premier and most dominant nation in the world. Moreover, the resources of all nations, especially in what they say as the Western Hemisphere, belongs to the United States first. Let me repeat. All resources in foreign nations belong to the United States because they are a superior nation. It is their God-given and appointed right to superiority, and they have to assert their superiority and their dominance over the world. Meaning, and this is what was said, all resources and rare earth minerals and materials and things like that in foreign nations must be utilized by the United States. That is their right. Because the world destroyed America. So now the world have to fix it and pay for it. And because it is their right to acquire and utilize all of these materials, any nation that refuses will be seen as a direct threat to the sovereignty and security of the United States and they will utilize any means necessary to acquire and sustain ownership and control of all of those resources for the betterment of the United States of America. Let us sink in for a minute. Let us sink in. What I tell you only from day one. Day one. Them don't do nothing for free. I tell you that. I tell you they want to build an empire. They want to control from Canada all the way through the Caribbean. And this national security strategy outline everything I say. What that mean? Well, that means your oil have to go to them. You don't have a right to sell it to nobody but the United States. Your resources, that's not for your country. Sorry about that. I think sticking my gum there, so I know that nasty. Yeah? Forgive me. Anyway, your resources don't belong to your nation or your country. No. It belongs to the United States and have to go to them first. Because their sovereignty and their right, God-given right to dominance and superiority puts them above you. They come first. Their citizens come first. And if you say no, you pose a national security threat to the United States of America. Meaning, they will use military force to come in and take it. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for a bit. So, Miss Kamala, let America in there. And I tell all you, they're going to take the oil and they're going to take the asphalt. I tell you that. This national security strategy, it outlines that plain and simple. They're taking it because it belonged to them. They, as outlined in this report, the entire Western Hemisphere, which includes the Caribbean and Latin America, belong to them. All the resources of those nations belong to them. And those resources are there for the sole purpose of benefiting the United States and the people of the United States. Nobody else. They just tell you in a nice roundabout way. Know your role. Know your place. You is the servant. You is the slave. I is the boss. And you're going to do what I tell you to do. That is my land. That's my resource. I don't care if it's in your house. That belongs to me. That is what they just announced. So when I tell you Miss Kamala give away the country, you feel a lion? You feel me? I know what I'm talking about. You feel it should talk. You feel it just talk. It's old talk, man. Here no, man. Propaganda is old talk. That is what they just come out with. Headlines all over the world. I tell you, follow the money. And here's why they're doing it. Here's why. America is $38 trillion in debt. $38 trillion. And this happened over two presidents here. This happened over a period of about 15 years or so, 15 years or more. Printing money, spending too much money, printing money, printing money. Every time you print money, you devalue the dollar. Non-stop. $38 trillion in debt. The interest payment on that alone is $1 trillion a year. They could barely pay that. That's just the interest. That's not the principal. I mentioned that earlier. It's like a mortgage. You have your interest and you have your principal. So if your mortgage, say, is at 3% interest, you go pay 3% of the value. That will be 3% annually. They go break it down. So that is the interest. Let me just make it short. Say you have $1,000 mortgage. $1,000. And say your interest payment is about $200. Right? You should be paying $1,200 a month. Every month. $1,000 to your mortgage. And $200 to the interest. That's your mortgage. Them paying $1 trillion. And them even touching the principal. Which means that principal continue to increase. Now they go send you the mortgage and see your payment is $800 a month. You're supposed to pay, say it's $1,000. That's your mortgage. But your interest is $200. You are paying that. You paying the $1,000. I paying the $1,000. They're taking the interest out of that. So now you $200 short. Or your principal payment, $200 short. And that will continue to increase and add compound interest. So when time comes for you to go and renew your mortgage, you have to pay off that debt before they give you a mortgage. So now you show up to pay to get a new mortgage. And then turn around. You have to spend $50,000 now to qualify for a new mortgage. Because you didn't touch the principal. America does $1 trillion a year. America manufactures, say, in terms of services, goods and services, products they could sell. In terms of sales numbers, they generate $4.5 trillion a year. That's what they generate. America's, you have your, well, when you have business, when you have your bills, you have your bills that you can't miss. You have your necessities. So you have your food, you have your rent, etc. These bills, you can't miss that. You can't miss a payment. Those are necessities. In terms of necessary debt, America spends $4 trillion a year. They're bringing in $4.5 trillion, but they're spending $4 trillion off the bat that they can't touch. They have to spend it. And it's split into 3 parts. Okay? Listen. Social Security, healthcare, and military. You realize me say education or nothing else, huh? You realize I say that? Okay. You have a older generation that retiring every day. Every day they retire. They're expecting to get Social Security. They pay their whole life into that. And they're waiting for that when they retire. No. They can't touch that. You cut that off. Millions of Americans ain't getting their Social Security. Civil unrest. That could cause a civil war. Can't touch that. Healthcare. You cut off millions of Americans from healthcare. They can't get it. Same thing go happen. Military. Them ain't gonna touch that. No, they have to have the military. Must have it. So that's $4 trillion they have to spend. And they could have $1 trillion a year just in interest. They have $500 billion left. $500 billion. They have $500 billion. That means just to pay the interest, they have $500 billion short. So what they gonna do? Print more money. You print more money, you weaken the dollar. What happened? Financial collapse, depression. Now they could prolong it and say they're going to invest money. They're printing money to invest in the economy. That is kicking the can down the road. It's still not going nowhere. You're prolonging it. And prolonging it will do the exact same thing, because that will cause hyperinflation. More expensive. More money. Higher taxes. Depression. So what America doing? This is what they're doing. Threatening the world. They crash their own economy with their stupidity, their vanity, and their ego. And now they're forcing everybody to pay for it. Everybody. You have a property and you want to take care of your yard and thing. You touch it. Leave it, me I care. Now it become an eyesore. Everybody complaining. Now because of your house, everybody property value start to drop. Everybody. Everybody starting to feel it. Because them putting money in their house, they taking care of their property, they taking care of their yard, they doing what they're supposed to, but you don't want to do nothing. Me are touching it. My house, I got to do what I want. Well, now the government come after you and say, hey, do something. You had to do something. Well, when I'm ready, I could do it. Then they turn back and say, all right, $100,000 fine. We fining you now. And every day you do it, is the next $10,000. Now you want to go to all your neighbors and tell them that they have to give you the money. They have to help you pay for it. Because if they don't do it, you will let this continue and crash the value of their house. If them may help you and put you first. That is what America doing. So you think America there to help Trinidad? Still believe that? Listen to Miss Kamala. Listen to Miss New Starish herself, the leader of the Autistic Avengers. Listen to all them blasted, dotish, mother, so and so. Listen to them. Listen to the PNM. Listen to them too. I tell all you, when you go to the dance with the devil, when you take the devil to a dance, you take him to a fete. Don't feel you going and dance, you go and wind up with somebody else, you know. Don't feel so, you know. And you are leaving with nobody else but he. Tell your dad. And Miss Kamala, she only gone to the dance. She only gone to the fete with the devil. She bring the blasted devil in the house too. And now he are leaving without something in his hand. Reason why America put the soldiers there is because they are letting Trinidad know that it belongs to them. That is their island. Those are their resources. And they will utilize it for their country and impoverish the Caribbean. Because all it don't matter. Because as Donald Trump say, all them third world nations is shithole. Those are his words. They must throw in Trinbagonian out the country. Calling all your criminal and all kind of thing. All they send people from madhouse and jail and all kind of thing into the country. That's what they were saying. And Kamala invite them there. Allow them, come. Put your radar there. Put your missiles there. Radars that are there specifically to spy on who? Venezuela. That is why they are there. To spy on Venezuela. Not for no blasted boat. And not for no drugs. Those are the excuses they use. Resources, I tell you. They need resources. Their country is crashing. The US economy is collapsing. The petrodollar is dying. More and more nations are signing up to BRICS. Saudi Arabia is selling oil on the Chinese dollar. They're selling oil to nations on their own currency, not on the petrodollar. And without the petrodollar, the US doesn't have the ability to print all the money they want and generate the debt that they currently do without some sort of massive ramification that is killing the economy. They don't have a country right now. On paper, there's a paper tiger. All they have is military, and that is crashing. We will see how loyal you is when you get a paycheck. Let me see. See how loyal you is when you get a paycheck. Me I know about you. My loyalty end at my pocket, you know. If you like working for you for free, if me I get a check, me ain't working for you for free, I look like an ass or a jackass. Me ain't wasting my time. My loyalty end at my pocket. United States will take the resource in Trinidad and Tobago because we have a soft, worthless government. And they will come in and take it. But now they have a bigger problem. Let me explain. I mentioned all the weaponry and everything that gets shipped to Venezuela. I tell all you about that. All you know. It come out. The US finding missiles and stuff there that they didn't think they had. Like I tell all you. I told all you they have a Rushnik and everything there already. Well, the US see it on satellite. And has the ability to strike anywhere in the United States. And the other missile systems they send there have the ability to strike the United States from Venezuela. It's finally confirmed. Russian general is there. Russia announced that they're sending an additional 120 troops to Venezuela. Turkey now is back in Venezuela. Turkey. And then Trump just say Erdogan is a great man. He's a great fella. Nice, huh? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia selling oil to China on yuan, the Chinese dollar. Great, huh? Yeah. All the people in America talking to backstabbing them. So now they issue a threat. War to any nation that don't fall in line. So what is Miss Kamala? What Miss Nusari going to do? She ain't no soldiers. What are you going to do? What is Miss Nusari going to do when America say time for conscription? You going to say no? I tell you, you take the devil to a fete. Don't say no when he tell you come and wind up on me. You know? You can't say no now. What are you going to do? And Trinidad in a similar financial position as America. Similar. You don't produce enough product and they don't generate enough income to sustain the debt, let alone the interest on the debt that they are incurring. They can't pay that, which means they can never pay off the debt without cutting everything and increasing taxes drastically, which will destroy the country overnight. Good job. Smart business. Smart, eh? And all you feel Venezuela is only Venezuela will the end of everything. I tell all you. Venezuela first. Colombia next. Then Cuba. Then entire Caribbean. All of it. They are never leaving Trinidad and Tobago. Get used to it. America is there. It's called AMGOT. American government occupied territory. That is what Trinidad and Tobago is classified as now. Officially. They will never leave. So, for all those who feel America never owned Trinidad, well, wake up call. They already have the country. They had their military there. They have control of the whole blasted government. They can't say nothing. They can't do nothing without them. Not one thing. They control all the resources. And they are implementing policy. Everything that Kamala and all of them do is what America is telling them to do. And all the policies that will come forth will benefit American companies first and foremost, not Trinbagonians. They will impoverish all you and enslave the entire Western Hemisphere to feed their vain and gluttonous lifestyle. Because your resources belong to them. Them calling Latin America and all these people, they calling all your criminal. They're calling Hispanic people criminal. Go to parts of Philadelphia in the United States. See how much people there high out their mind like zombies all over the road. Everywhere, the whole blasted country. Greatest country in the world. Come here and see. That old man here, I'll give example. That fella here, 92 years old. 92. The man working harder than any 40-year-old I ever meet in my life. 90. every day. Tough man here, 80s, 90s, swinging cutlass and all kinds of them still walking. But Americans, well, I too tired, I can't do this, I retire. And then they complain about drugs. The number one consumer of narcotics on the planet is America. America. The laziest population in the world. America. The dumbest students in the world. America. America is the greatest country in the world. They're not great at nothing. Not one thing. They could say they lead the world in other than what? War. Nothing else. Worse education. Worse healthcare. Unless you have money. More diseases. More drugs. More crime. Lack of housing. Poor housing. Go on and on and on. Not one thing other than war and weapons does the United States lead in. Nothing. So tell me how they could say we're the greatest country in the world when no statistic could back up what they say. Not one. But Trinidad, with we super smart government, let these wicked people come in and control the country. And make no mistake, them is the one controlling the country. And with the release of that national security strategy, go and look for it. National security strategy. Read it. And see. They own everything. I tell all you, they classify everything as the Americas because it belongs to them. All resources of those nations belong to them. And now, with the release of this, America just create more enemies and they don't know what to deal with. Because it is official. They don't care about Venezuela. They don't care about the drugs and things, because that's a lie. They say cocaine, you know. They outline fentanyl. Venezuela produces no fentanyl. Colombia produces no fentanyl. Ecuador produces no fentanyl. Drugs. Drugs. They bankrupted Canada to steal their resources. Canada and as a neighbor. Put it in perspective. That is family. That is family. They go do that to them there. So you feel them care about all you? You feel them care about we? We is nothing to them. We is pumpkin vine. You think they care about we? And Miss Kamala, no. Miss Nusari, the Black Hulk, Tanko and you're welcome, all of them jackass, all of them no. But they blasted coward. They go take the money, shut them out and run. And the next government there so will do exactly what America tell them to do. Which means you think you live in a free country. You think you're living in a republic. When you don't even realize you're living under the Roman Empire. And them control your country. Because they control all your resources. Because your resources belong to them. Not you. And if you say anything other That is a declaration of war. Greatest country in the world. America there to help with. Listen to them. What's the price of your soul? What does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? What's the price of your soul? They what he wants is America. America. That create gangs and that kind of lifestyle. They created it. That was created by the CIA. All of that. Everything you see. America using propaganda and all these things on their own nation for donkey years. The same thing they're using in foreign nations to overthrow government and to poison and corrupt the citizens of that country. It's the same thing they're doing at home. Gang culture starts with America. Nowhere else. America impoverishing millions of their own citizens. You think them care about you? They telling people, you free health care? No, that is communism. You should pay for it. If you can't pay for it, you don't need it. All the resources belong to we. That is ours. You know what they go control next? Watch and see. Fresh water. Drinking water. Watch and see. It is for them and their vile nation and the people living there don't realize what they are in for. They go wake up one day and it will be gone, and the world will say, what happened? I never thought that country will fall. I never thought that nation will fall. What is written must be fulfilled. Read the book. Pay attention. You're seeing it right before your own eyes. You could choose to deny it. But eventually, you're going to have no choice but to deal with the truth and the facts. America will collapse. But not before they try and thief everything. And Ms. Kamala and the government of Trinidad and Tobago is doing the exact same thing. Destroying the country. So America, they ain't there to help. They're there to thief. And for all you think them are going into Venezuela, I tell all you follow the numbers. Without that oil, their country gone. They don't have a choice. Without the asphalt hunting from Trinidad and all these other countries, without their resources, America gone. Their country don't exist. The problem they have is taking it. Because now the world know. And now they can prepare. And that is where they have a problem. That is their problem. Anyway, I figured this was more important for today. That Venezuela thing ain't going nowhere. That will still be there. Stupid government, they go still be there. They go still be there. But this will explain why everything is happening. Because it has to happen. America needed to happen. Because without a war and without military industrial complex, America will not exist. That is why. America's a paper tiger. And the world is starting to see it for what it is. And that is why Maduro say Trump bluffing. Because they can do nothing. But they will have to do something. And that will destroy the country. And even if they vote somebody else in, which ain't going to happen, they will prolong this until midterm. And then they will go in and declare they cannot have an election because they are at war. Just to prolong it. If the country lasts that long. And Trinidad wouldn't have an economy. Because all they listen to them. The government listen to them. Them know we better than we know ourselves. You care more about what them think and sacrifice your own people for $2 in your pocket. God don't sleep, you know. God don't sleep, eh? But he go take his sweet time. So I tell all you, that is why they divide. That is why. Because they can't conquer you unless you are divided. The illusion is that you're different. That is the illusion to create a delusion in order to divide. Make all you think you're different. How all you're fighting each other over nothing. Making it easier for them to conquer you and destroy your nation while you're busy fighting yourself. All you forget. Together we aspire. Together we achieve. But divided, all are we fall together. And now you're seeing it. Now the truth coming out. Them don't care about nobody but themselves. They are self-destructive. And somebody who is self-destructive will destroy everything around them. So it's best not to be around. America is self-destructive, and so is the government of Trinidad and Tobago. They're taking everything with them. Or you could be quiet, or you could open your mouth and say something. They could ignore one or two voices, but they can't ignore 1.4 million. They can't ignore 10 plus million in Venezuela. They can't ignore the millions in Latin America and the millions through the Caribbean. They cannot ignore that in unison. They can't ignore that. Because all of we is brother and sister. God make all of we. One Caribbean, one Latin America, one people. Had no difference. Come together. They could hold some away. They can't hold all away. and united, they can't stop. Especially when they're robbing you and impoverishing you and flooding your country with crime. Government causes crime. Government causes poverty. Poverty causes crime. Government causes crime. Government policy. Government taxes. Government corruption. They cause it. It's called gentrification. They are doing it purposely. Come together. No violence. Live by the sword, die by the sword. Come together. A house divided cannot stand. Speak in one voice, as one people, as one family. And they can't ignore. If they don't want to listen, shut the whole place down. Nobody walking. Nothing getting done. Then they will listen. Come together. God bless all you. God guide all you and God keep all you safe. Most importantly, God grant all your love, strength, and compassion. Love your brother and sister as you love yourself. One people, no difference. We are stronger together. Divided, united we stand. Divided, we die. They don't have nobody. Come together. I love all you too bad. All you don't know I love my family. All of his family, I love all you too bad. Time to let your voices be heard. Open up your mouth and talk. Open it up and talk. As always, be prepared. You know what to do. All you're ready now. I'll keep all you updated. Let all you know what's going on. Don't worry. Red man go sort all you out. I go sort you out. So until next time, take it easy, Jed.